Hey guys, it's Alila Sarah, and as you know, I promoted over the last week or two that I'm having a fashion event or a shopping event on October 17th, which is this coming Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's at Melrose Lightspace, 7600 Melrose Avenue. And last week I showed you one of the great designers or vendors that we're going to have. I'm going to share with you a new jewel that I have found. It's a store called BYNU, which is on Pico Boulevard, which is in Los Angeles. And the owner of the store, Janelle Glover, she is awesome. She picks awesome pieces, and most of them are designer pieces. So you can either find vintage designer pieces or you can find current designer pieces. But either way, you're going to find them at an awesome price. And for the most part, if it's a vintage item, you know that it's pretty much one of a kind. So I'm going to show you some of her stuff. She is going to be a vendor, a part of the designer collective. So come out this Saturday. You do not want to miss this. She has some awesome deals. I know that for a fact, like if you go on Topshop.com, they carry vintage Chanel bags. You can spend upwards of $600 to a few $1,000s on a vintage Chanel purse. And she actually had one, the classic quilted looking one, circle style with the tassel and the chain strap. You're never going to believe this. It was only $95. That's a steal. And it was real. So I'm going to show you a few of her handbags that I picked up, and then also I'm going to show you a few of her clothing items that I picked up. You've got to come out to see her stuff. It's fabulous. And come to our event and then visit her store. I mean, she can't bring everything with her, but you're going to find some jewels at our event this coming weekend. So first off, I'm going to start with a Moschino bag. All leather. Those of you who know what Moschino is, you can see the little Moschino logo right here, and it's authentic. Now, most Moschino bags, this is one that is it's not fully vintage, but it's a little vintage as far as like the collection that it came from the season. But most Moschino bags are in the thousands, you know, starting at maybe $800 or $900 or $1,000 at the least expensive, going higher. And we're not even necessarily talking about a leather bag. This is a leather bag. $110. You cannot beat that with a stick. She has Hogan bags. This is a Hogan, authentic Hogan bag. Again, another bag that is upwards a few $100s, closer to like $1,000, if not more, depending on the style that you choose. $65. Real leather. You cannot go wrong with that, especially my girls that love a real bag. Picked up this hot little Cole Haan army green. It's fabulous. This bag normally would be about maybe anywhere between like $300 and $400, maybe $500. $65. And it's real, okay? Now, this bag, you guys might not even see it because I think I might buy it for myself. Cole Haan bag. It's real clutch, pony fur, leather, great detail. $85. You do not want to miss her stuff. Let me go ahead and show you some of her dresses and sweaters and other great things that I picked up from her. You are going to love it. So basically, just come out. Let me show you some stuff. Okay guys, so this is one of the items that I picked up from BYNU. It is a vintage dress, and it actually, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like vintage shopping, but a lot of times if they're like really vintage, they may not have a label in them. But if the dress is fabulous, that is all that matters. Now, this dress is a vintage dress. It came from a vintage store called The Way We Wore. Now, this dress was originally $125 at The Way We Wore. At BYNU, it's only $70, and It's perfect. I mean, it is a signature dress, and if you wear it, people will be beating down the doors trying to figure out where you bought this dress from. It's classic. You'll have it for many, many years. The silhouette is timeless, and it actually goes, I don't know if you guys can see, but it goes like just below the knee. So it's sexy and yet it's modest at the same time. Now, one secret to having a fabulous wardrobe is mixing in vintage items, because what that does is that gives you one-of-a-kind pieces. If it's vintage, most likely no one has the exact same thing that you have. And for the most part, if you pick good cuts and quality, you'll have it forever. So one diva trick to one-up everybody is throw in, mix and match a few vintage pieces, and you'll look like a goddess. Well, only thing that I added to this was a necklace and a belt, and I could do just about anything. If you really want to be in a league of your own, I have this cardigan, a vintage cardigan. It's like a knit wool with brocade and pearls and just all this detail that I also got from BYNU. Totally vintage outfit. No one's going to look like you, and you look classic. You look a little Jackie O reminiscent. Don't you love it? And see how the detail goes all the way around the jacket. And it's very Chanel-like as far as the cut of the sweater. And then also it's around the sleeve. And this sweater is only 70 bucks. Now, that may be a little bit expensive to some of you guys, but to the real vintage girls, you know this is a sweater that you will keep for a lifetime. It will go with you from fall, winter, early spring, and it will be a staple in your closet. My next piece, which is a Diane von Furstenberg dress, is a coveted piece of most women that are into fashion. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who Diane von Furstenberg is, but she was one of the pioneers, or the pioneer, of the wrap dress, and her dresses are still selling to this day. And this is like a vintage one. You can spend a few $100s for this dress, if not upwards to $1,000 for the dress, depending on where you're purchasing one from. Even the vintage ones like this one still will run you a few $100s depending on the vintage store you go into. BYNU, $75, and it's authentic. You may spend a little bit more than you would if you went to like a Goodwill, but you're not going to find the classic staple pieces that you'll keep and be able to infuse into your wardrobe throughout the years. $75 for a Diane von Furstenberg dress is like a drop in the bucket, so it's well worth the investment. Everything that she has, pretty much awesome buy. You cannot beat it with a stick. And I'm surprised that like her store is not packed every time I go in there, because you cannot beat the prices. I mean, Cole Haan bags, she even carries like Dolce & Gabbana and Ted Baker shoes. I mean, she has some of the cream of the crop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely show some really great designer pieces, and when you buy vintage, make sure that you remember the key factors are classic, the quality, and if it has a designer name, that's the icing on the cake. But this is one way to infuse longevity into your wardrobe and make sure that you're able to look timeless, classic, and one of a kind. Now, make sure you join us at Designer Collective this Saturday, October 17th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The address is 7600 Melrose Avenue, 946 is the zip, and that's Los Angeles. Come check out all of the vendors that we have. I just showed you just a few, and I know I grabbed your interest with those. So it's a lot more to come. Make sure you join us this Saturday. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.